Good morning. My name is Elliot Payne. I'm the president of Minneapolis City Council. And before we convene our meeting, we have presentations of honorary resolutions. We are pleased to welcome guests to this space in these presentations before taking up our agenda. First up is a resolution recognizing Veterans Day. And I will be presenting that along with anyone else who wants to join. Good morning. Today we are honoring and recognizing Veterans Day. Whereas November 11th of each year has been formally designated as Veterans Day, a time to acknowledge and reflect on the individuals who have served in the United States Armed Forces, and whereas Veterans Day serves as an opportunity for our community to recognize the diverse contributions and experiences of veterans, both during their time in service and in civilian life, and
whereas many veterans continue their service through public service, including within our city government, bringing a strong sense of commitment and care for our community. And whereas veteran employees of the city have contributed to operations and functions across the enterprise, applying skills of leadership, collaboration, and passion that enhance city services and community experience. And
whereas recognizing the contributions of veteran city staff helps promote an inclusive and supportive environment where all forms of service are valued and appreciated. And whereas the city is committed to continuing the work of building a culture of appreciation and respect for the experiences and perspectives that veterans bring to the city enterprise and our community.
now, therefore, be it resolved that the mayor and city council do hereby recognize November 11th, 2025 as Veterans Day in the city of Minneapolis, and recognize the contributions of all city staff who have served in the United States military, thanking them for their continued support of our community through military and public service.
Thank you, Council President Payne, for sponsoring this Veterans Day resolution, and for the rest of City Council for your support. As a proud daughter and granddaughter of veterans and one of the leaders of America, which is our military employee resource group, I'm grateful to work and live in a city that recognizes and celebrates our veterans and active duty servicemen and women. Our veteran and current service members possess great work ethic, leadership skills, adaptability, integrity, and a heart for public service. They bring these skills with them as almost 10% of our city workforce. Many city employees who have served or who are currently serving balance their personal lives and city responsibilities around trainings and deployments in order to keep our country safe. The city of Minneapolis and its citizens benefit greatly from the work our veterans and service members do daily, and I'm honored to recognize and celebrate those men and women today.
Thank you. Thank you. Not sure if there we go. As the executive sponsor for the ERG America, I just want to express gratitude and thank you to Council President, council members, and the city for supporting the men and women who have served in the military and who are staff for the city of Minneapolis. Thank you.
Next, I would like to welcome up Councilmember Chowdhury to recognize Principal Christian Alberto Ledesma honorary resolution.
All right, good morning. All right, this resolution is honoring Principal Christian Ledesma, whereas Principal Christian Alberto Ledesma has been named the 2025 Minnesota High School Principal of the Year by the Minnesota Association of Secondary School Principals, a distinguished honor recognizing exceptional leadership in education. And whereas Principal Ledesma serves as the leader of Roosevelt High School in Minneapolis Public Schools, where he has demonstrated unwavering commitment to the social and economic development of every single student. And whereas, with more than 20 years of experience in education, Principal Ledesma has dedicated his career to maintaining high standards of education that support students in all areas, both personal and academic. And whereas Principal Ledesma has shown exemplary leadership in identifying and correcting policies, practices, and programs that perpetuate gaps in learning and in institutional racism, working tirelessly to create an equitable education environment for all students. And whereas his professional journey in education includes service as a literacy specialist at Green Central Elementary, an assistant principal at Roosevelt High School, and principal at Wellstone International High School, as well as years of teaching experience in New York City and Minneapolis Public Schools. And whereas Principal Ledesma has supervised the growth of the dual language program at Roosevelt, strengthening the pathway for Spanish dual language students and creating a welcoming environment for newcomer students and families. Whereas Principal Ledesma is a resourceful and goal-driven professional educator who embodies the values of dedication, equity, and excellence in education. And whereas his leadership represents the highest ideals of educational administration and serves as an inspiration to educators, students, and families throughout Minneapolis and Minnesota. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the mayor and city council do hereby recognize and honor the significant contributions made by Principal Christian Alberto Ledesma to education and to our community, and his dedication to the students of Roosevelt High School. Oh, we got it done in time. And go Teddies. Go Teddies. Yes. Well, we have some wonderful folks that are going to say some words. I'll just start by saying thank you so much, Principal Ledesma, for all of your hard work, both in Roosevelt High School and our entire community. I met you when I first became the councilwoman to our community, and you were such a welcoming individual and a partner, especially in supporting our students in civic engagement for our young people, which matters deeply to me and to you, and also the safety and care of our community. And I hear from a lot of people, you're just really, really kind and really fun to work with. And also, your students love you. And I think that says a lot about any principal. I think that might be the greatest measure of success, is that you just have so much collective love and care from your education community. And now I'm getting emotional. Why don't we pass it to one of your... Okay, go ahead.
Way to make it emotional. So I brought all these beautiful people with me because the work that we get to do at Roosevelt is not work that I get to do alone, right? So this is amazing, and thank you so much to the City Council for this. But these students, families, and staff that you see here represent the best of Roosevelt High School and the best of Minneapolis Public Schools, and they make it a joy and an honor to serve every day. So thank you for being here, and thank you for sharing this with me.
Hi there, my name is Layla. I am a senior at Roosevelt. I just want to say that in all my 4 years at Roosevelt, Principal Ledesma has been a constant force, a constant, I don't know how to say this, he's always been there as a way to lift me up and push other students forward, and he's really just been such a great principal and such a great person to know all 4 years of my high school career.
Hi, my name is Josie, and I'm also a senior at Roosevelt High School. I cannot think of a principal who deserves this more than you. I have been in the DLI program since kindergarten my whole life, and I remember coming to Roosevelt High School and just thinking, oh my God, this is the best education, and then meeting Principal Ledesma and thinking, and who better to serve our community and to be a leader for us. And I walk into this building every day and feel so welcomed and feel so loved and ready to learn. And we could never thank you enough for all you do for this school. So thank you.
And one last shout out before I forget, my wife and my kids who support me at home every day and keep the family life going, because I also cannot do this work without them. So thank you.
Thank you. Okay, now we're going to get together for a picture. Both Grant and Amy are going to take some photos for us.
Thank you, everyone. At this time, I'm going to call this regular meeting of the City Council for November 6th to order. The clerk will call the roll.
Councilmember Wansley is absent. Councilmember Jenkins is absent. Councilmember Palmisano.
Present.
Councilmember Chowdhury.
Present.
Councilmember Cashman.
Present.
Councilmember Osmond is absent. Councilmember Rainville.
Present.
Councilmember Chavez.
Present.
Councilmember Vita.
Present.
Councilmember Ellison is absent. Councilmember Koski.
Present.
Vice President Shugtai.
Present.
President Payne.
Present.
There are 9 members present.
Let the record reflect that we have a quorum. Before we begin the meeting, I want to offer a friendly reminder to all members and staff that this meeting is broadcast live to enable greater public participation. The broadcast includes real-time captioning as a further method to increase the accessibility of our proceedings to the community. Therefore, all speakers need to be mindful of the rate of their speech so that our captioners can fully capture and transcribe all comments for the broadcast. We ask all speakers to moderate the speed and clarity of their comments. With that, the agenda for today's meeting is before us. Are there any amendments? Not seeing any. May I have a motion to adopt the agenda?
So moved.
Second.
The clerk will call the roll.
Councilmember Palmisano.
Aye.
Councilmember Chowdhury.
Aye.
Councilmember Cashman.
Aye.
Councilmember Rainville.
Aye.
Councilmember Chavez.
Aye.
Councilmember Vita.
Aye.
Councilmember Koski.
Aye.
Vice President Chugtai.
Aye.
President Payne.
Aye.
There are 9 ayes.
That carries and the agenda is adopted. The next item is acceptance of minutes from our meeting of October 23rd. I will entertain a motion to accept those minutes.
So moved.
Second.
The clerk will call the roll.
Councilmember Palmisano.
Aye.
Councilmember Chowdhury.
Aye.
Councilmember Cashman.
Aye.
Councilmember Rainville.
Aye.
Councilmember Chavez.
Aye.
Councilmember Vitaw.
Aye.
Councilmember Koski.
Aye.
Vice President Chugtai.
Aye.
President Payne.
Aye.
There are 9 ayes.
That carries and the minutes have been accepted. Finally, we have the referral of petitions, communications, and reports to proper committees. May I have that motion, please?
So moved.
Second.
The clerk will call the roll.
Councilmember Palmisano.
Aye.
Councilmember Chowdhury.
Aye.
Councilmember Cashman.
Aye.
Councilmember Rainville.
Aye.
Councilmember Chavez.
Aye.
Councilmember Vitaw.
Aye.
Councilmember Koski.
Aye.
Vice President Chugtai.
Aye.
President Payne.
Aye.
There are 9 ayes.
That carries and those matters have been referred. I'll also note that we've been joined by Councilmember Jenkins. The next order of business is the presentation of reports from our standing committees. Those are taken in alphabetical order, beginning with the report of our Administration and Enterprise Oversight Committee, which will be presented by that committee's Vice Chair, Councilmember Palmisano.
Thank you, Mr. President. The Administration and Enterprise Oversight Committee is bringing forward 11 items. The first 8 are contracts. Item number 1 is a bid for the Newton Avenue Sanitary Sewer Reconstruction Project. Item number 2 is a bid for the Convention Center Dish Machine and Prep Table Replacement Project. Item number 3 is a contract with AmeriNational Community Services for loan portfolio management and loan development services. Item number 4 is a contract with ABM to provide Loadmaster refuse packer bodies and tipper assemblies. Item number 5 are master contracts with various vendors to establish an executive recruitment services pool for executive search services. Item number 6 are master contracts with various vendors for the Public Works Consulting Pool. Item number 7 is a contract amendment with Kimley Horn for engineering and design for the Hennepin Avenue South Street Reconstruction Project. It's a contract extension. Item number 8 is a contract amendment with Fairview for Reach Food Resource Navigator Services. Item numbers 9 and 10 are gift acceptances for transportation, lodging, and per diems. One is for Police Bureau Chief Ganesha Martin and Commander Monica Hansen. The second is for Chief Brian O'Hara. Item number 11 is the paid parental leave policy, which I'd like to speak to briefly. And I will move all forward with approval, though some of you might look to break out ones, but I'll move them all forward for approval.
Councilmember Palmisano has moved the committee's report. Is there any discussion? I will recognize Councilmember Palmisano.
Thank you, Mr. President. I briefly want to speak about item number 11. That's the paid parental policy leave update. Similar to what I brought forward recently with sick and safe time ordinance updates, this is about updating our policy to be in compliance with state law. We already offer paid parental leave for birth or adoption, and now we are simply adding in foster placement. There will be another piece of this coming forward soon as we look at how to apply the new payroll tax per our negotiated labor contracts.
Vice President Chugtai.
Thank you, Mr. President. I would like to pull item 9 and 10 for a separate vote.
Vice President Chugtai has pulled items 9 and 10. Is there any discussion on the remainder of the items? Councilmember Cashman.
Yeah, thank you, President Payne. I also wanted to speak to the parental leave policy and thank the staff who worked on it. And one part that I am excited to see moving forward is dropping the payback provision for young parents who went through paternal leave through the city and won't have to pay back the money that they earned if they decide not to come back to work. So I think that's a great step in the right direction as well. Thank you.
Seeing no one else left in queue, I'll ask the clerk to call the roll on all items except items 9 and 10.
Councilmember Palmisano.
Aye.
Councilmember Chowdhury.
Aye.
Councilmember Cashman.
Aye.
Councilmember Rainville.
Aye.
Councilmember Chavez.
Aye.
Councilmember Vitaw.
Aye.
Councilmember Koski.
Aye.
Councilmember Jenkins.
Aye.
Vice President Chugtai.
Aye.
President Payne.
Aye.
There are 10 ayes.
Those items carry, and we will now take up items 9 and 10. Is there any discussion on those items? Vice President Chugtai.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. President. I see that both of these items are either ones that have already, item number 9 is one that has already come to pass, and item number 10, I mean, clearly the gift has already been accepted as the impacted dates are happening right now. I will again note that it is really, really inappropriate and unacceptable that that we are out of compliance with our adopted city policy on gift acceptances, and continuing this pattern of submitting gifts for acceptance, which have a high threshold of votes required for passage, and are a place of a remarkable amount of scrutiny to prevent the misuse of city resources, and so I'm going to be voting against the two of these, and I sincerely hope that that we can change this pattern from certain departments feeling as though that our city policies are just a suggestion and not a law that they need to abide by. Thank you.
Councilmember Palmisano.
Thank you, Mr. President. We had some discussion on this at AEO. Vicki Troswick from the police department said that she was working on a policy to make sure that the submittal process is consistent and more timely. And she was asked to attach a document for council members prior to this council meeting. She did send it on Election Day on November 4th, but it still needs to go through the revision process with MPD. But it does have some controls and good policy outlines about when the MPD Director of Financial Operations, Vicki Troswick now, would be notified, and it talks about how they coordinate with the city's finance department. So I think these are good improvements to the process. Thank you.
Councilmember Chowdhury.
Yeah, thank you so much, President Payne. I do think it is a good practice for us to hold up our own policy. And I'm going to let, for me personally, this one slide, but at a point, it does need to come to heel. We do just need every single department, regardless of whatever department, to follow the gift acceptance rules. So I will be voting for this today, but if there are gift acceptances in the future that come before us that are after the date, I will not be able to support it. I think we have talked enough about this in our committee meetings, and if there needs to be discussions about policy changes, happy to have that, but this is going to be the last time for me. We have to uphold our own city financial gift acceptance policy.
Councilmember Chavez.
Thank you, Council President Payne. I'm on the same boat with Councilmember Chowdhury. If this happens again, I will not be supporting late submissions. That is not in compliance with what we're supposed to be doing in the city.
Councilmember Rainville.
Thank you. If someone on that committee could just answer this question for me. I assume you had a robust discussion. Is there a reason why these came in late? Were they granted late, or do we not know, or what happened?
Vice President Chuktai.
Yeah, I'm happy to speak to that and answer the question that Councilmember Rainville asked. It was just that the gift acceptance was submitted late to the folks that needed to fill out the RCA. So just didn't submit it on time.
Okay, thank you. So do you mean it came from Louisville late, or it came from our department late?
From our department late.
Okay, thank you.
And then, Mr. Clerk, can you remind the voting threshold for this to prevail?
Mr. President, that requires 9 votes in order to accept a gift.
Okay. I will also just echo both Councilmember Chowdhury, Councilmember Chavez. We from time to time also do gifts acceptance as members of this body. I myself have gotten close to the line of the deadline, and in fact, there was a year that I missed that deadline, so I just paid out of pocket because, I think there's some room to have some flexibility and leeway, but I think that we need to also be stringent about this, and I think we've been given enough notice. So I'll be supporting this today, but this is going to have to, we really need to change this. So with that, I will ask the clerk to call the roll.
Councilmember Jenkins.
Aye.
Councilmember Palmisano.
Aye.
Councilmember Chowdhury.
Aye.
Councilmember Cashman.
Aye.
Councilmember Rainville.
Aye.
Councilmember Chavez.
Aye.
Councilmember Vita.
Aye.
Councilmember Koski.
Aye.
Vice President Shugtai.
Nay.
President Payne.
Aye.
There are 9 ayes and 1 nay.
Those items carry, and that completes the committee report. Next, we will take up the report from our Business, Housing, and Zoning Committee, which will be given by that committee's Vice Chair, Councilmember Chowdhury.
Thank you, Mr. President. The Biz Committee is bringing 17 items forward today. Item number 1 is approving an ordinance related to cannabis event licenses. Item number 2 is approving an ordinance related to affordable housing definitions. Item number 3 is approving a liquor license for Chiba Hut at 1118 Lake Street. Item number 4 and 5 are license revocations, both related to Pimento Jamaican Kitchen, and were sent forward without recommendation. We did not receive clearance letters from the state, but the applicant has chosen to withdraw licenses for both locations. So I will move to delete 4 and 5 from the agenda. Item number 6 is approving a liquor license. Item number 7 is approving 19 liquor licenses. Item number 8 is approving 6 gambling license renewals. Item number 9 is authorizing a demolition agreement for 1410 West Broadway. Item number 10 is approving a rezoning plan for Mortensen Development for the property at 1027 Essex Street. Item number 11 is authorizing a grant agreement with the Minnesota National Independent Venue Association for conference support. Item number 12 is authorizing the carry forward of unused 2025 housing revenue bonds. Item number 13 is authorizing a joint powers agreement with Hennepin County to support the Office to End Homelessness. Item number 14 is authorizing changes to the 2026-27 Housing Tax Credit Plan and Manual. Item number 15 is authorizing contracts with Hennepin County and Aviva Village for funding support. Item number 16 is accepting and authorizing the spring 2025 brownfield grants. And lastly, item number 17 is authorizing revisions to the program guidelines for the Naturally Occurring Affordable Housing Fund. With that, I will move all items for approval and delete items number 4 and 5 from the agenda.
Councilmember Chowdhury has moved the committee report, including deleting items 4 and 5. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, I will ask the clerk to call the roll.
Councilmember Jenkins.
Aye.
Councilmember Palmisano.
Aye.
Councilmember Chowdhury.
Aye.
Councilmember Cashman.
Aye.
Councilmember Rainville.
Aye.
Councilmember Chavez.
Aye.
Councilmember Vita.
Aye.
Councilmember Koski.
Aye.
Vice President Shugtai.
Aye.
President Payne.
Aye.
There are 10 ayes.
That carries, and the report is adopted. The next report is from our Climate and Infrastructure Committee, which will be presented by that committee's chair, Councilmember Cashman.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. The Climate and Infrastructure Committee will be bringing forward 4 items today. Item 1 is approving the resolution for the annual levy for various Public Works Department special assessments and adopting the related assessment rolls. Item 2 is approving an appointment to the Bike Advisory Committee. Item 3 is authorizing a grant application to the Met Council for the 2026 Private Property Inflow and Infiltration Grant Program. And finally, item 4 is approving the concept layout for 35th and 36th Street from Chicago Ave to Blaisdell Avenue and a resolution seeking a variance from the municipal state aid rules. I'll move all items for approval.
Councilmember Cashman has moved approval of the committee's report. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, I will ask Councilmember Jenkins.
Thank you, President Payne. I just want to speak a little bit to item number 4, the 35th and 36th Street reconstruction project. I have a number of constituents who are concerned about this layout, and I'm just curious if we might be able to delay this for one cycle to be able to address some of the concerns that people have laid out.
Are you making a motion to delay?
Yes.
Second.
That's been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, I will ask the clerk to call the roll on the motion to delay item number 4.
Councilmember Jenkins.
Aye.
Councilmember Palmisano.
Aye.
Councilmember Chowdhury.
Aye.
Councilmember Cashman.
Aye.
Councilmember Rainville.
Aye.
Councilmember Chavez.
Aye.
Councilmember Vito.
Aye.
Councilmember Koski.
Aye.
Vice President Chugtai.
Aye.
President Payne.
Aye.
There are 10 ayes.
That carries, and that item will be delayed one cycle. We still have the remainder of the items on the report, so items 1, 2, and 3. Is there any discussion on those items? Seeing none, I will ask the clerk to call the roll.
Councilmember Jenkins.
Aye.
Councilmember Palmisano.
Aye.
Councilmember Chowdhury.
Aye.
Councilmember Cashman.
Aye.
Councilmember Rainville.
Aye.
Councilmember Chavez.
Aye.
Councilmember Vito.
Aye.
Councilmember Koski.
Aye.
Vice President Chugtai.
Aye.
President Payne.
Aye.
There are 10 ayes.
That carries, and that completes the Climate and Infrastructure Report. Finally, we have the Public Health and Safety Committee, which will be presented by that committee's chair, Councilmember Chavez.
Thank you, Mr. President. The Public Health and Safety Committee will be bringing forward 2 items. Item number 1 is accepting a reimbursement for the Minnesota Board of Firefighter Training and Education. And item number 2 is a staff direction related to charter compliance and enforcement of penalties related to charter violations by city leaders. I move approval of these items, but Mr. Clerk, I believe there might be a change.
Mr. President, thank you, Chair Chavez. The second item, which is a legislative directive, has as part of its component a legal analysis related to compliance with charter requirements, which obviously is a function of the city attorney's office to interpret and apply the city charter. So while the legislative department is happy to take on the directive in general, we would want to add the words "in consultation with the office of city attorney."
I don't believe that needs to be amended, right? That's just been...
Need to make sure it's included as part of the vote, and the clerks will amend the action afterwards, yes.
Okay.
But want to make sure it's the intention of the body to include within that legislative directive that is in consultation with the Office of City Attorney.
Okay, sounds good. Councilmember Cashman.
Thank you, President Payne. I just wanted to speak to item number 2 because I did have a legislative directive that was supposed to have a presentation in PHS last week with an October 29th deadline, and that deadline came and went without a presentation from staff. It was related to investigation clearance rates, and I authored this because Loring Park and the whole city had such an influx of violent crime over the summer with both fatal and non-fatal shootings, many of which went uninvestigated and unsolved. So I'm very disappointed that the October deadline came and went, and that there was no communication from the Office of Community Safety until I asked for it this week. I was informed that it will be presented on the next cycle, but wanted to make clear that I did offer them opportunities to reduce the scope of the legislative directive and was not taken up on that opportunity. And I see what the clearance rates are from the Bureau of Criminal Apprehension, and see that aggravated assaults are at 43%, breaking and entering are at 8%, kidnapping is about 16%, car thefts have a 0% clearance rate, and many other crime types have really low clearance numbers. So that's why I'm asking for this information. Again, I'm disappointed that it didn't come on time, and I think it's worth exploring why this does happen when the council passes legislative directives that don't get followed. Thank you.
Councilmember Palmisano.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'd like to speak to item number 2. Some of you know there was a battle at committee about that one. The impetus was Commissioner Barnett was not giving a public presentation on the Moturi police investigation, but he did send an email explaining its progress. In our charter, it says that we as council members cannot ask for public data. We don't interfere with the work of the auditor, and we are entitled to seeing non-public data for our legislative duties, not everything that we want to inspect. But it sure does not mean that we get to go and require people to make public presentations.
I will recognize that we've been joined by Councilmember Osmond, and I'm going to add myself to queue and just say this legislative directive certainly came up in light of the Davis Moturi shooting. But as Councilmember Cashman is highlighting, just even in her legislative directive, the charter is pretty clear about the council's ability to request information. We have detailed a pretty robust policy around those types of requests for information and when it's appropriate to do a legislative directive versus, just a general inquiry. And what we don't have is a resolution to when that policy fails us, and technically the administration is out of compliance with the charter. So this legislative directive is actually not, in fact, about Davis-Maturi. It's not, in fact, about the case clearance rate. It's about what do we do when the administration or even ourselves are out of line with the city charter. And I think that we should really get an answer to that about what those tools are as they exist today, let alone what those tools ought to be to make sure that we are in compliance with the charter. So that's the context of the legislative directive. So I want to separate out Davis-Maturi, separate out case clearance rates and MPD not coming and presenting to committee. We need to just resolve and understand what are our tools when actually anyone within this institution is in violation of the charter, and that's what that legislative directive is aiming to achieve. Councilmember Osmond.
Council President, I would like to be counted as aye for all the items.
Sure. Mr. Clerk, for the previous committee reports, if we could recognize Councilmember Osmond.
If there's no objection.
All right. Looks like there's no objection. Councilmember Chavez.
Thank you, President Payne. If we're talking about the legislative directive regarding Davis-Maturi, it talked about presenting the requested information to be received and filed to the Public Health and Safety Committee no later than October 29, 2025. That was not met. So I want to be very clear. That deadline and what the mayor had signed was not met. So let's not make up stories. Let's not act as if this was met. It was just not met, period.
Seeing no one else left in queue, I'll ask the clerk to call the roll on the PHS report.
Councilmember Jenkins. Aye. Councilmember Palmisano.
Aye on 1, no on 2.
Councilmember Chowdhury.
Aye.
Councilmember Cashman.
Aye.
Councilmember Osmond.
Aye.
Councilmember Rainville.
Aye on 1, no on 2.
Councilmember Chavez.
Aye.
Councilmember Vita.
Aye on 1, no on 2.
Councilmember Koski.
Aye.
Vice President Shugtai. President Payne.
Aye.
There are 11 ayes on number 1, and there are 3 nays on number 2.
Those items carry, and that completes the committee's report, and that completes the reports of all of our standing committees. The next order of business is the introduction and referral calendar. We have 4 introductions today. First, pursuant to notice, I move to introduce the subject matter of an ordinance amending the Fire and Police Protection Code for first reading and referral to the Public Health and Safety Committee, adding provisions for public data reporting on response to First Amendment events, reportable force statistics, any steps taken to address any racial disparities that are found to be produced by particular types of law enforcement actions, behavioral health crisis response numbers, misconduct systems statistics, off-duty work numbers, officer hiring, recruitment and retention efforts, and officer assistance and support programs. Second, pursuant to notice, Councilmembers Ellison and Osmond move to introduce the subject matter of an ordinance amending the Housing Code for first reading and referral to the Public Health and Safety Committee, adding a policy overview section, updating lead-safe standards and cross-department enforcement, and amending licensing standards and duties related to compliance and cross-department enforcement. Third, pursuant to notice, Councilmember Vita moves to introduce the subject matter of an ordinance amending the Administration Code for first reading and referral to the Administration and Enterprise Oversight Committee, updating and making technical changes to provisions pertaining to payrolls, pensions, deductions, and other related items. Fourth, pursuant to notice, Councilmember Wansley moves to introduce the subject matter of an ordinance amending the Fire and Police Protection Code for first reading and referral to the Public Health and Safety Committee, adding a reporting requirement for use of city resources and outside work. May I have a motion to approve these introductions?
Mr. President, before there's a motion, the 4th item that you just read into the record from Councilmember Wansley, she's not here. It requires a member who's present. So,
Vice President Chugtai said she will be added as the author.
I'll join too.
And Councilmember Chowdhury.
Thank you.
Now, may I have the motion to approve those introductions with the change of Councilmember Wansley to Vice President Chugtai and Councilmember Chowdhury?
So moved.
Second.
The clerk will call the roll.
Councilmember Jenkins. Aye. Councilmember Palmisano.
Aye.
Councilmember Chowdhury.
Aye.
Councilmember Cashman.
Aye.
Councilmember Osman.
Aye.
Councilmember Rainbow.
Aye.
Councilmember Chavez.
Aye.
Councilmember Vito.
Aye.
Councilmember Koski. Vice President Shugtai.
Aye.
President Payne.
Aye.
There are 11 ayes.
That carries, and those matters are referred to the committees as listed on the agenda. The next order of business is resolution. We have 4 resolutions on our agenda today. Are there any comments from council members? Seeing none, may I have a motion to adopt the resolutions?
So moved.
Second.
The clerk will call the roll.
Councilmember Jenkins.
Aye.
Councilmember Palmisano.
Aye.
Councilmember Chowdhury.
Aye.
Councilmember Cashman.
Aye.
Councilmember Osman.
Aye.
Councilmember Rainbow.
Aye.
Councilmember Chavez.
Aye.
Councilmember Vito.
Aye.
Councilmember Koski.
Aye.
Vice President Shugtai.
Aye.
President Payne.
Aye.
There are 11 ayes.
That carries, and those resolutions are adopted. Next, we will move on to new business. And we have 3 items under the new business agenda, the first 2 of which are included here due to the cancellation of this week's Committee of the Whole meeting earlier this week. Our first item is a contract amendment with Idea Analytics for additional training services. I'll invite staff to give a short summary of this item.
Good morning, Council Member.
Welcome.
President and Council members, I just want to acknowledge the last, I don't know how many months it's taken you guys, but election was this week, and so congratulations to you all. It was a lot of work, so I just wanted to start with that. I just wanted to, so this particular item, Council Member President and members, this is just for the additional training that where we exceeded the initial budget for, and I have both explanations of both what the training is as well as why we have additional training needs for that. The first one is this particular training that was provided is for supervisor leadership training, both with which is a settlement agreement requirement, as well as just moving forward. It served as a stopgap training to make sure that we're incorporating all the items from the settlement agreement and making sure that the supervisors follow some of those settlement agreement requirements moving forward. And then the reason for the additional training is we try to be good stewards of the taxpayers' money when it comes to identifying the training and the training needs. And we cut it pretty tight when it came to the budget for the training, and we exceeded that because of a couple of reasons. One is we have to keep, per the settlement agreement, we have to keep the number of students down to ensure that the teacher-instructor-student ratio is low. As that's one aspect of it. But we try to have a limited number of training days, and we ran into a little bit of a scheduling problem when it came throughout that because a week and a half before the first week of the training was the Annunciation shooting, and we ran into a little bit of a conflict because we had lots of additional needs that were created, and this is a supervisor-only training, so we have approximately 200 to 230 supervisors that needed to go to this training, and we staffed heavy on the second half of the training, but we still ran short based on numbers of training. So this was just a necessary thing to make sure we had the instructors come back to ensure that they could cover the additional days.
Thank you for that. Is there any questions or discussion? Seeing none, I will ask, actually, may I have a motion to approve this item?
So moved.
Second.
The clerk will call the roll.
Councilmember Jenkins.
Aye.
Councilmember Palmisano.
Aye.
Councilmember Chowdhury.
Aye.
Councilmember Cashman.
Aye.
Councilmember Osman.
Aye.
Councilmember Rainbow.
Aye.
Councilmember Chavez.
Aye.
Councilmember Vito.
Aye.
Councilmember Koski.
Aye.
Vice President Shugtai.
Aye.
President Payne.
Aye.
There are 11 ayes.
That carries, and that item is approved. Our second new business item is related to an extension of the authority to join or initiate lawsuits related to federal actions. I will ask the city attorney to speak to this item.
Thank you, Council President, Council members. So I'm sure you all remember in February of this year, the city attorney's office came to the council requesting delegation of authority from the council to allow the city attorney's office to bring suits either by ourselves or in collaboration with other potential plaintiffs against the Trump administration. We have taken advantage of that delegated authority 3 times so far. Excuse me, bringing with other plaintiffs 3 different lawsuits against the Trump administration. The resolution that you originally passed expires as of January 22nd, 2026. And we just feel the need to extend the delegation of authority well past that. Number one, you don't even have a meeting at that point in time. Your next meeting is February 5th. Of 2026, but we have seen the great value in having this delegated authority. We're able to move really, really quickly when we find other plaintiffs to sue with, and we have legal interests that we need to protect. We've been able to do that really speedily. I think that we have also done a really good job of keeping you all informed about what we're doing and being able to come back to you after the fact, after we file, and having a closed session so that you are all very aware of what we are doing. It just appears to be that for the remainder of this particular administration, we are going to need that flexibility to be able to bring action to protect our legal interests quickly. So the resolution before you for voting today is to extend that delegation of authority through January 20th, 2029, so that, again, we are having, we at the City Attorney's Office have that flexibility to be able to bring suit when we need to.
Thank you for that. And I added myself to queue just to say thank you, City Attorney, for this. This grew out of a lot of conversations, at least I've been having with various aspects of city leadership around our preparation for what I would anticipate would be the Trump administration sending federal troops here. And what is our response going to be? And I think the very clear first response is going to be a legal response. And so I felt it really necessary that we make sure that our attorney's office is equipped to be able to respond in a timely way. Obviously, we're going to need to have preparations far beyond a legal response, but this is one of the steps that we can do in a really concrete way. So I appreciate your responsiveness to this. Seeing no one else left in queue, may I have a motion to adopt this resolution?
So moved.
Second.
The clerk will call the roll.
Councilmember Jenkins.
Aye.
Councilmember Palmisano.
Aye.
Councilmember Chowdhury.
Aye.
Councilmember Cashman.
Aye.
Councilmember Osman.
Aye.
Councilmember Rainville.
Aye.
Councilmember Chavez.
Aye.
Councilmember Vita.
Aye.
Councilmember Koski.
Aye.
Vice President Shugtai.
Aye.
President Payne.
Aye.
There are 11 ayes.
That carries and the resolution is adopted. Our last item is Mayor Fry's nomination of Anthony Kelly to a seat on the city's Civil Service Commission. I'll move to refer this nomination to the Administration and Enterprise Oversight Committee for the setting of a public hearing. May I have a second to that motion?
Second.
That has been moved and seconded. Are there any questions or comments from council members? Seeing none, I will ask the clerk to call the roll.
Councilmember Jenkins.
Aye.
Councilmember Palmisano.
Aye.
Councilmember Chowdhury.
Aye.
Councilmember Cashman.
Aye.
Councilmember Osman.
Aye.
Councilmember Rainville.
Aye.
Councilmember Chavez.
Aye.
Councilmember Vita.
Aye.
Councilmember Koski.
Aye.
Vice President Shugtai.
Aye.
President Payne.
Aye.
There are 11 ayes.
That carries, and that nomination is referred to the AO Committee for the setting of a public hearing. Our next order of business is announcements. Are there any announcements from council members? Councilmember Jenkins.
Thank you, Council President Payne. I just wanted to take a moment and thank all of the residents who showed up on Tuesday to express their votes. We had a record turnout in the city of Minneapolis, and also there's a pretty much a record turnout all around the country. And so just want to give a shout out to our residents for being engaged in their civic duty of upholding our democracy.
And before I call on Councilmember Rainville, Mr. Clerk?
Thank you, Mr. President, as was just stated, and as this body is keenly aware, the city did set a new record for the level of voter participation in this year's municipal election. We had 55% of all of our registered voters who cast ballots this past Tuesday, and in the 46 days leading up to that, it equated to a total of 147,702 ballots that were included. And that level of engagement beat out the total number of voters who cast ballots in the 2021 election, which had set the record for the highest number of participation. So obviously doing a good job in terms of engaging residents in our local democracy. I think that we should, as a community, take great pride in the strong sense of civic duty that these high levels of voter engagement represent. We are unique amongst communities for this high level of voter participation in off-cycle, odd-year elections. I am routinely contacted by my peers across the nation about how do you get that high level of participation. And so it is a point of pride, I think, for the city of Minneapolis that we far exceed the norm. We truly do stand out on this point across the nation. About 10% of our total volume in this year's election came during that 46-day early voting period. Year over year, as I have reported, the city continues to see growing numbers of voters who take advantage of the convenience of early voting. And still, despite that growth, the majority of voters continue to cast their ballots at the polling places on Election Day. The energy, the urgency, and the sense of community connectedness, I think, are all qualities that define Election Day. And so even if it's not recognized as a holiday yet, Election Day is a definitive American tradition and a celebration of our democracy. In terms of next steps for the public, since I have the mic for just a little bit, the City Council, as the city's canvassing board, is set to meet next Monday. That's November 10th at 10 a.m. And at that time, staff will present the unofficial returns for this year's election to be certified. Once certified, as provided under state law, there is a 7-day contest period which begins. And during that 7-day contest period, any of those races could be contested. Once that period expires, then we will certify all of those results, and I will issue election certificates to the declared winners in each race. I anticipate that I will issue those election certificates as soon as Tuesday, November 18th. And then I would be remiss not to note that this past Tuesday, in addition to being Election Day, was also Election Judge Appreciation Day. Thank you to the council for that resolution. That recognized the incredible work of our team of more than 1,900 seasonal workers, election judges, and of course, our incredible team of professional election administrators in our Elections and Voter Services Division, all under the leadership of our Elections Director, Katie Smith. Director Smith and her entire team performed flawlessly yet again, and we're there to welcome and serve voters and to ensure that all 147,702 ballots were efficiently and accurately tabulated and reported in a timely manner. So I'm incredibly proud of the elections team and their foundational work to the success the city enjoys as the top voting city. And then, Mr. President, with the body's a little bit more indulgence, a few final programming notes to share. There are just 2 cycles that remain in this year and in this 2-year term. My office is working with the administration to identify and track the proposals that are still in queue so that we can shepherd as much business as possible to the finish line before the end of the year. As you know, unfinished business at the conclusion of a term automatically is set to expire. The council is also, of course, wrapping up its work on the city's 2026 budget. I don't want to steal thunder from our budget chair, the vice president of council, but I do want to make sure the public hears there is a budget committee public hearing on the proposed budget, which starts at 6:05 p.m. on Wednesday, November 19th. Markup sessions are on the calendar starting Friday, December 5th, and again the following Monday and Tuesday, December 8th and 9th, if needed. All prior to formal consideration and final action on the city's budget for 2026, which starts at 6:05 p.m. on Tuesday, December 9th. So a lot of year-end business, as always, at the end of a term is coming rapidly upon us in the next few weeks. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Clark. Councilmember Rainville.
Thank you. I have 2 announcements, one somewhat boring, but the other very exciting. And the boring one is we have established our first official ride-share zone in the North Loop. It was a pilot project, and thanks to the good work of our traffic department, public works, traffic enforcement, because you do still need to ticket, and our police department's advice. And what's that doing is making it much safer for the pedestrians, and we're seeing the U-turns on Washington Avenue North cut down. So what we're learning there, we hope to bring into the larger entertainment district in downtown Minneapolis in the springtime. But hats off to all of our staff and to Uber and Lyft for all their cooperation and then using their technology to make these drop-off zones work. The exciting and very fun announcement I have is that last night was the opening of Purple Rain, the musical about Prince in Minneapolis. It highlights Minneapolis in a very positive structure, and I would encourage all of you to go and see it, and you'd be so proud of the city that we represent, and so proud of the great activity in downtown Minneapolis with First Avenue North and the State and Orpheum Theaters. So, thank you.
Councilmember Osmond.
Thank you, Council President. I do want to shout out and thank Minneapolis Election Voting Services for providing an excellent job during like month and a half of early voting. I think it's been wonderful. As you know, Ward 6 was leading the early voting and the professionalism and the patience. I really want to thank everyone who has worked tirelessly to welcome all those people that came at the door. So yeah, thank you so much.
Okay. Councilmember Chaudhry.
Thank you, President Payne. Since our next meeting won't be until November 20th, we're going to be passing Veterans Day on November 11th. I represent the VA in my ward, and I just wanted to wish our veterans a happy Veterans Day and thank them for their service to our country. And I also ask everyone to check in on relatives, constituents, family members that are veterans, because currently and for a long time, our country has not helped and supported them in the way that needs to be. Many veterans are struggling with poverty, with disabilities, and many of them have lost critical care that they rely on through this Trump administration and this government shutdown. And also, many are waiting still on a backlog to get the services that they deserve and need. And so I just wanted to wish them a happy Veterans Day and encourage us as local government to really look out for many of our communities, especially our veterans, who are consistently marginalized and need more local officials checking in and looking out for them. And I think should continue to be a part of what we're working on as the City of Minneapolis and City Council.
Well said. And with that, we've completed our business today with nothing further to come before the council, and without objection, this meeting is hereby adjourned.